Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out at the range with a couple of rifles from Palmetto State Armory, PSA. And the reason I want to talk about these rifles is because the AK is a hot ticket right now in the US market, and it has been for quite some time. The problem has been with sanctions being applied to Russia. We're no longer getting firearms out of Russia. The Veprs are gone, the Segas are gone, and the Romanians are coming in, but the Romanian AKs are of just okay quality, but they're still coming in. And then we have, let's see, the Bulgarian rifles, which are still coming in, but those can be a little bit pricey. You're going to get into them at, over $1,000, more like $1,200 or so. And some of them you'll see go for ridiculous prices on Gunbroker because they're in such short supply and high demand. So we've been waiting for a U.S. company to step up and make an AK right here in the United States, all components. And Palmetto State Armory is one of the first companies to do that. The rifles that we have here are of the GF3 variant, so these are third generation guns, and we'll kind of go over the features here in the video, but the two I have here represent the two types of AKs I enjoy shooting the most. This one is their triangle folder. And guys, I can't tell you just how good this triangle folder looks. It has the right look, it has the right feel. The button doesn't have the hole drilled in it, but it's close enough where its latch and everything functions just like its Russian counterpart. And I'm a big fan of triangle folders, mostly for aesthetic reasons, not necessarily for practical or functional reasons. So that's why I chose this particular rifle. The other one I brought out, I had originally picked up with the Zukov Magpul furniture on it, and the Zukov stock is more in line, straight back to the shooter's shoulder. And when shooting these rifles, and they're like pretty much every other AK out there, they're pretty heavily gassed, it would whack you in the cheekbone with that stock, much like a Yugo AK will. And so I went back and put some US furniture on here to make it, I took the Magpul furniture off the front and I got rid of this folding Zukov stock back here, and it's just a standard AK rifle at this point with its 45-degree angle gas block on both rifles and all that good stuff. So let's get to shooting these rifles, talk a little bit about the features of the PSA AKs, and then kind of tell you where we are at in terms of the evaluation of these two rifles. In a previous video, we showed you guys the Wasser 10 underfolder that we picked up from our friends over at Atlantic Firearms, and this gives you an idea of the quality you can expect from a Wasser. It has really nice looking furniture on it, but the overall finish and fit is pretty poor. They're functional. And you'll notice that my front sight is drifted way off to one side. We almost have to push that drum out. It's completely flush on this side. The drum's protruding from the right-hand side of the sight tower, but we got it zeroed, so it works. So that gives you an idea of what an $800 AK looks like that's being imported right now. That's what the underfolders are going for, right around 800 bucks. For $670, you can take a look at a rifle like this from PSA. The $670 would be with the Zukov furniture. I can't remember, the triangle folder's a little bit more expensive, but still you're right at $700. And so they actually represent a good value on the market. And if you take a look at the quality of the two, the quality and fitment of the PSA rifle is much higher than the Wasser. But the Wasser's earned a reputation for being very durable, so that's why we're gonna continue to shoot these and see if they hold up. I already know the Wasser 10 is going to last a lifetime. Doesn't matter how ugly it is, but with the US made AKs, we just don't know. Now, Rob Ski has done a lot more shooting with the PSA AKs. He has an E version, which I don't have, and the E version has believe an FN chrome lined hammer forged barrel in it. These have 4150 barrels in them that are nitrided. So what we've seen where the Wasser 10 is minute of kind of big man, this rifle is much more precise. It shoots better than my Wasser 10. Now, is that because it's a better barrel than the Cougar produced barrels, or the fact that the Wasser has chrome lined and this doesn't? Because typically people say that chrome lined barrels are a lot less accurate than nitrided or not finished internally barrels. Who knows? But this thing shoots really, really nice. Did I charge it? I did. Okay. All right, so able to connect every shot from 100 to 150 that I was shooting there just now. The guns do seem to be a little bit overgassed, which isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as they don't malfunction, but the shootability and the quality of the guns is very, very good. For whatever reason, they do not come with a cleaning rod. So the rod that you see here is a rod that I picked up elsewhere to fit into the rifle. And that's true of the Zukov, which is over there, which we'll show you here in a minute. It didn't come with a cleaning rod either. Now, it does break it down in the listings as a cleaning rod not being available, but if they can manufacture a hammer forged trunnion, front trunnion, they can hammer forge a bolt and a carrier, and they can make a barrel, and they can make these stamped gas tubes look perfect, a machine a perfect looking 45-degree angle gas block. Why can't they make a simple cleaning rod? Don't know. This is my former Zukov PSA AK, but I wanted a fixed stocked rifle to do some shooting with. And yes, the Zukov has side folding furniture, but yeah, it's what they had in stock at the time when I picked it up. So I thought I would go with it. Typically, I've had pretty good luck with the Zukov furniture, with the exception I broke one during some ice testing years ago. But other than that, I've had very good luck with them. So it was whacking me in the cheek. I decided to pick up a traditional style stock to throw on the rear here. And it has a regular tang and everything, so it just slid right in. It's a USA made stock, but the rifle is very well built. If you take a look at the fit and finish, you'll notice that everything seems to be really sharp. Now, what's kind of cool is they have a full auto setting right there, but it only fires semi-automatic, and then safe. So you actually have, you know, 2 detents going down. But because our government doesn't trust us with our freedoms, that first position doesn't do what it's supposed to do. They'll notice it's kind of interesting. So like a lot of European countries like to serial number the parts on their guns. Palmetto State Armory is carrying on that tradition. And so the bolt carrier has a serial number on it. The top cover, we'll show you, has a serial number on the back of it. Of course, we have the serial number here on the trunnion. And if we take a look out here, again, it's a 4150 barrel that's nitrided. Everything looks nicely machined, the gas block. And on both rifles, they're both zeroed, and you'll notice that the front sight is not radically one side or the other in those protective ears. The rear sight is, you know, has its meters markings on it. Looks like a traditional military sight with all of its different settings. Now, I did mention that these things have hammer forged trunnions in them, so that's a good thing. Most people want that, and AKs made in the United States. We're going to make sure it's empty first, and then take this top cover off, which does fit really snugly. There we go. And then good looking recoil rod and spring. If you take a look inside, everything looks really good. Take a look at the bolt and carrier. On the bolt, there's that serial number. The top cover, the serial number is right underneath the takedown button. But if you take a look at the machining and stuff on there, it's really, really nicely done. I don't see any signs of premature wear. We've only fired a few hundred rounds out of them. But yeah, and the bolt here has a serial number. You won't be able to see it. It's just under that lug, but it's serial numbered. Yep, it's a really, really well-made rifle in terms of components. Take the gas tube off. Now, this is one thing I noticed with this rifle. Many times these levers will be so difficult, you'll wind up having to use the slot on your bolt carrier to get leverage on it. This one comes up very easily, but it also goes past its locking detent spot really easily. You could probably fix that by pushing on it, trying to bend it a little bit, but you can also break them in doing that. But taking the gas tube off, you know, the fitment seems really good. Now again, these aren't the handguards that the rifle came with. I put these on aftermarket and took off the Magpul furniture. But it gives you an idea of just how nicely it fits. I can even use a fingernail to take that lever over to take the front handguard retainer off. You know, I'm not prying on it. Sometimes the washers, you're like prying to get that thing to release. Everything on here seems to fit really, really good. The only complaint I have is that top cover is just a little bit tight and this lever is just a little too easy to move, but it hasn't moved under firing. There we go. And she's back together. So in my ongoing evaluation of the PSA AKs, we're using different types of ammunition. We have some federal ammunition that we've been running out of it, which is the brass case stuff. And then we run a mix of Russian-made ammo as well. So we have brass case, we have steel case, all that good stuff. We're also using different magazines. This is a Chinese magazine. This is a Russian Bakelite, Eastern European manufacturer, 40 rounder, PMag, and then a Circle 10 waffle mag, Bulgarian made mag. And the guns seem to work great. As soon as I say that, watch, it won't. But the gun seems to work great with any magazine that we put into them. So you will notice this gun is really overgassed, in my opinion. I may try a heavier recoil spring in it, but I would say that gun is more gassed, is getting more gas than most of my other AKs that I like to shoot. It's got a more pronounced recoil impulse. Not unmanageable, but it's definitely noticeable. And this is a Russian red. See if we can push it out to 200. Oh, went over him. My rest is falling apart. Yeah, this thing just jumps around a little bit. All right. Yeah. Bulgarian's a little tight. Yeah, the Bulgarian fit's just a little snug, but functions just fine. We haven't found any magazines that the rifles don't like. You guys always ask questions about some of the stuff we're using in video, and I always forget to tell you what the stuff is. So really quickly, the table that we're sitting at right now, get a lot of questions about it. It's made by Caldwell, and it's called a stable table. And we do have an Amazon store, and I'll put a link in the video description down below. If you go there, you can pick one of these up. They're handy. They are portable, so you can quickly tear them down and put them in a bag and set them up at various ranges. In our case, we just leave them set up year-round. This one, come August, will have been set up for a full year and just been out in the elements, so it seems to be holding up pretty well. The bags, everybody's asking us what bags we use. This is a WeBad bag, and these have filler in them that's a little bit heavier, and they're different sizes. And you'll also see us use Coltec bags on the channel as well. This one has a little attachment, so to a 1913 rail, you can attach your gun to it, so you can, you know, like for competition or whatever, you can always have your bag on the underside of your barrel there. So these are some of the products that we use fairly regularly on the channel. So we're going to continue shooting the PSA AKs. Had a lot of questions from pictures I posted on Instagram for people to say, hey, what do you think of the guns so far? What, you know, are they good value? I can't give you a definitive answer just yet. We've only put a few hundred rounds through them, but you know, we're in the ammo shortage of 2020 because of the COVID-19 thing, but we're going to continue shooting them and having some fun with them because I'm obviously a big fan of AKs. What I can say so far is that I would prefer one of these over anything Century Arms makes. Not imports. I still think the Wasser 10s are good rifles if you get one with straight sights, but this thing is higher quality than the Wasser. The RAS 47s and the C239 V2s or whatever, I've totally given up on those. Just horrible quality control. I would never consider that. So of the US made AKs right now, this is the only one on the market that I have any experience with that I can say, yeah, man, this is it seems like a pretty good deal so far. Now, KUSA is coming online, and we haven't heard from them since SHOT Show, but once they get up and running, they would be the second company that would be turning out 100% USA-made AKs, and I'm curious to see what they come to market with. This thing's definitely competitively priced, this one and the other rifle I brought out this afternoon, and if you look on PSA's website, everything's perpetually out of stock, but you'll notice they have a bunch of different variations. You can get this same rifle with different wood furniture on it, Magpul furniture. They have just a whole bunch of different choices. I wish more rifles were in stock, but they're really well priced, very competitively priced, and that they seem to be feature rich, and people, judging based upon some of the comments I've seen on the forums, really, really like them. So I'm going to continue shooting them. Playing around, who knows, maybe I'll throw this in the Polaris versus the Wasser 10 because I'm a huge fan of the look of the triangle folders. Guys, if you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms Channel, the best way to do that is to become a Patreon supporter. We're not paid by PSA, we're supported by you, our viewers, so we can bring you honest, unbiased information as humanly possible. Again, link down below, and consider becoming part of our Patreon family. Also, don't swing by, you're already here, you're on YouTube. Right underneath the video player, there's a join button. Give that join button a click, check out some of the perks, and consider becoming one of our family members right here on the YouTube membership program. And last but not least, swing by and check out coppercustom.com. Guys, thanks for 12 years of support, and we'll talk to you guys soon. And we'll have more to say about the PSA AKs here real soon as well. They shoot really, really nice.